Well, g'day there traders. I wanted to put out a special update on this one particular stock, obviously, which I'm looking at now. Ticker symbol PCLN. Company name is Priceline Incorporated. I used to trade this a fair bit a couple of years ago, but option liquidity sort of fizzled out on this particular stock. I'm not quite sure. I haven't looked at the option chain for this particular stock. Haven't really looked into November or December put options, but there is nonetheless a pretty decent trade set up on this particular stock. If you have a look at Priceline, it came out after close on Monday. It reported its earnings. It's gapped down quite significantly, quite a bearish gap indeed. It closed down on Tuesday, $100 below, of course, the closing price on Monday. What makes this trade quite interesting is the fact that we're sitting on a pretty decent or very important trend line going back to October 2012. If you take a look back to October 2012, I've changed to a closing price just so you can see this. I've just aligned, obviously, the touches here, projected this out to the future, and this is a primary bullish trend line which has been in effect since October 2012. We've closed more or less right on this, on a pretty decent level of support. If we want to look at this trade and trade to the downside, we need to really take into consideration where that next support level comes into. If you go back to September and October 2013, pardon me for that horrible circle right there, going back to this period in time where, of course, the next support level comes in about $1,022 a share. If we have a look at where the current market price is of Priceline, it's trading at about $1,097 a share. That's a pretty decent $50 move to the downside, which could happen very, very quickly on Priceline. It's more or less $50 of intrinsic value, which could be built into put options. Only if, of course, there is enough liquidity, open interest above 500 to the downside on those put contracts. I'm looking at this trade quite bearishly at the moment. Generally, when we see an earnings gap, a gap of this magnitude, obviously the sentiment starts to change quite substantially on particular stocks. This, of course, being one of those increasing volume, obviously, on the sell side due to the earnings. You can see we're below both the 10, the 20, and the 50 exponential moving average. Pretty decent cross as well. If we have a look at the 100 and the 200 simple moving averages as well, you can see that we're getting, again, a strong rejection from those. And when I change to the oscillating indicators, they're only just starting to give us a sell signal. So when we have a look at this trade in more detail, you can really start to see that, look, this is a pretty decent trade setup. Trading Priceline at least on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday this week. Now, again, I'm never going to encourage anyone to do anything specific with their own investment accounts. Try this out virtually for yourself. It looks to be a pretty decent trade. At the moment, you'd have to put your stop above the high of Tuesday's candlestick. I understand that really gives you pretty much a one-to-one risk reward, but say this does trigger on Wednesday, you can bring that stop down pretty much straight away. And then you're looking at probably, a risk and reward ratio in your favor of maybe 3, 4, 5 to 1, which makes this trade all the while. So it's a pretty decent trade setup on Priceline. Pretty interesting because I did trade this, as I said, a couple of years ago. You can go back and look at these historic trade entries going back to 2012 when I was trading this. It's sort of been off my radar. I do, tend to have a look at it from time to time. I haven't really been too active in the way of trading Priceline, but a student actually brought, or not a student, but just a YouTube subscriber actually just said, hey, can you have a look at Priceline? And I'm glad that individual did, because I really like this individual trade setup taking place on Priceline as at the close of Tuesday afternoon. So I just wanted to update you on this particular stock. Maybe place it in your virtual accounts. What I'd do is I'd be setting up contingent orders to obviously leg into puts if there's enough liquidity. Below $1,077, this could be a very quick dash down to $1,030. If this support level breaks down here, you can just see the next targets going down to $978. That is another $50. Then you're looking at $100 of intrinsic value in those puts if in fact Priceline fails to hold this level down here. Again, you can keep going back in time just to see the next support levels if this stock decides to tank. So it's definitely something that I have on my radar. Hope this video has been worthwhile for you. I wish you all the best on Wednesday's trading session. Keep a close eye on Priceline during the trading session. All the best, ladies and gentlemen. Goodbye.